started in 2011, technically. We played in a high school band together back in Michigan since like 2008. And then he moved here for college and I stayed back there. We kind of started just sending tracks back and forth, writing stuff when he'd come home for breaks.
Yeah, so we wrote Return of Inertia, like that's how we wrote our first record. I think at the time, like I had heard Exoplanet by the Contortionists, and like that was mentally like, I felt like I knew how to write that kind of music and I'd never really heard it before. Being instrumental is important to us. And important to me is because it transcends language barriers. And I think that is something that when I first came across this music, I didn't know it could do. But as I've grown in this genre and grown as a player and met a lot of people who play instrumental music, it's become more and more apparent that I can let my music talk to someone who doesn't speak my English language.
As guitarists, it's a lot more fun to play when you're telling the story through guitar than just playing behind a vocalist telling the story. So musically, it's more fun to play for me, at least.
I think the main thing was we actually rehearsed it as a band. Yeah, like Terrapin was already written, and there wasn't a band.
Just a full band being there is...
And literal recording as well. That's why it sounds so different.
Yeah, while you're all there in a recording and you hear it over and over and over again, we start to question it differently than how he questioned it when he originally just put the idea down as the demo.
It sounds so weird to say that like recording as a band in this genre is like hard to come by, but it seems to be, and I don't know, all of our tastes have drifted off in a direction of being very into live music, live recorded music. You know, the artists we listen to, our favorite artists are the ones that record the songs themselves that are not computer generated, which is like what we came from and what we know. But you know, I'm trying to move past that and transcend it and all that stuff was our goal.
I think a lot of it's honestly just our music taste changing. Like, we will always be in a metal band in the sense that we're four metalheads writing music that's not necessarily metal. So it'll always somewhat be structured like a metal band. We're always going to have that connection, that thought process in our mind while writing. But for this album, it was more so just conveying the feeling of an album. Like Redbird was written about things, whereas the other songs were written to be songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, sort of like to be played, yeah. Where these is like, we're kind of just letting it ride, and when it feels right, you know, it's hard to explain in that sense.
I mean, we were listening to a lot of post-rock, honestly, and like all those bands just sound that way. Like, and I think the big question was like, how do we write modern metal that sounds like post-metal or post-rock, but like, kind of still have shredding and kind of still have breakdowns, but also have all the other stuff that we love about post-metal and post-rock music. As I've lived here and as I've seen music here and as I've been introduced to the bands that are Chicago bands, like the bands that play tonight, Baron Air, Roman Ring, and Loom, like incredibly diverse lineup of people who like have a vision for their music that I think is fundamentally different than what I would consider to be like a run-of-the-mill band. And that's what I love about Chicago music. I mean, I can name 100 bands probably that are like of every genre in Chicago that I just know are pushing the bar somehow. And that's what I love about Chicago music, honestly. I think Outrun the Sunlight's biggest achievement is how many people we've connected with worldwide. That would be the biggest achievement because we don't tour. And touring full-time is not in the cards for me. And I'm not sure it's in the cards for anyone. We like touring, but it's not. I don't want that to be my job. For us, I mean, or for me, I feel like it's just the sheer amount of people that have connected us despite the fact that we don't leave our city really ever.
For me, I'd say the biggest achievement is probably that we're still a band. In all honesty, or that we're still a band. Like we started over the internet when I was still living in Michigan, just emailing tracks back and forth and writing music. Strictly, me and him wanted to play in here. Like we really didn't ever have. We were going to release it, but no intention of like sharing it or promoting it. And then, I mean, it kind of snowballed into itself. I ended up moving here because that's the only reason I'm here is because of this. Like, so it's 100% changed my life just in that fact. But we never had any intention of touring or releasing full-length albums. We weren't even sure if we wanted to play shows. Like, it was kind of just we're going to do this for us. We'll see where it goes. And now it's, we've done a 2-week tour. We've released albums. We get random headline shows. Like, artists that we really look up to will repost our stuff. And, like, it just blows my mind continually.